Welcome back to our channel. Here's the ultimate guide to starting your own profitable coin collection. Don't miss this. The year 1976 holds a special place in the hearts of Americans, as it marked the 200th anniversary of the nation's independence. The entire country was caught up in a wave of patriotism and celebration. Across the United States, people were reflecting on the long and rich history of the country, commemorating the moment when the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. It was a year of parades, fireworks, and the kind of national pride that comes once in a generation. And in the midst of all this excitement, the U.S. Mint was hard at work, producing coins to celebrate this monumental year. Among the coins that were released in 1976 was the one-dime coin, a small but significant piece of currency that would eventually go on to become a rare and highly sought-after collector's item. But before we dive into the story of the 1976 dime, let's take a moment to reflect on the larger context of the time. In the 1970s, the U.S. was in the midst of profound change. The nation was recovering from the turmoil of the 1960s and early 1970s, and a new sense of pride and unity was emerging as Americans looked back on their past and their future. The 1976 bicentennial celebrations were not just about fireworks and festivities, they were also a reflection on the country's evolution and the ideals it stood for. It was a time of renewal, and the coins produced during this period, particularly the 1976 one dime, would come to represent that moment in history. The one-dime coin has long been a staple of American currency. First introduced in 1796, it has undergone numerous design changes throughout the years. But by the time the 1970s arrived, the dime had settled into a familiar design that would remain for several decades. The coin featured the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who was responsible for guiding the country through the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt's image had graced the dime since 1946, just a year after his death. As a tribute to his legacy, however, 1976 was a special year. In celebration of the bicentennial, the U.S. Mint decided to create special designs for several coins, including the quarter and the half-dollar. The goal was to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the country's independence and to create a lasting symbol of American pride. While the design for the dime itself did not undergo a complete redesign, it did feature a subtle but significant change that would help make the 1976 dime special in the eyes of collectors. One of the most important features of the 1976 dime is its obverse, which still features the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. This design, created by artist John R. Sinek, had been in use for 3 decades by the time the 1976 coin was produced. Roosevelt's image was portrayed in a simple and elegant way, highlighting his features and exuding a sense of strength and wisdom. The reverse of the 1976 dime, however, is where the significant changes were made. While the reverse side of the dime typically featured a torch, olive branch, and oak branch as symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, the 1976 coin also carried an additional nod to the bicentennial celebrations. To commemorate the 200th anniversary of the country's founding, the reverse of the dime was modified to include a special symbol, a small, patriotic change that would make this particular coin stand out among the others in circulation. The modification was subtle but meaningful. The date 1776 to 1976 was included on the reverse side of the coin. This inscription was meant to emphasize the country's history and its founding, reminding people of the significance of the year 1976 as a moment of reflection on American independence. Now, let's talk about the minting details of the 1976 one dime. Just like other dimes produced during the 1970s, the 1976 coin was made of a copper-nickel composition. It had a diameter of 17.91 mm, a thickness of 1.35 mm, and a weight of 2.27 grams. These specifications were consistent with the dimes that had been in circulation for many years. The coins were struck at 3 different mints: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The mint mark, indicating the location where the coin was struck, can be found on the obverse of the coin, just beneath Roosevelt's portrait. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint do not have a mint mark, while coins struck at the Denver Mint feature a D mint mark, and coins struck at the San Francisco Mint carry an S mint mark. The 1976 dime was part of the regular coinage production, so millions of these coins were made and released into circulation. However, despite the large production numbers, the 1976 dime holds a special place in the hearts of collectors for several reasons. One of the key factors that makes the 1976 dime significant is the inclusion of the 1776 to 1976 inscription on the reverse, marking it as part of the bicentennial celebrations. This subtle addition has made the 1976 dime a popular coin among collectors, particularly those who specialize in bicentennial coins. But what truly sets the 1976 one dime apart from other coins of its time is a particular error that was discovered shortly after its release. As with any large-scale minting operation, mistakes happen from time to time, and the 1976 dime was no exception. A small but significant error occurred when a limited number of dimes were struck with a misalignment of the reverse design. This error caused the bicentennial 1776 to 1976 inscription to appear off-center, creating a coin with a unique and noticeable design flaw. This misalignment, while subtle, was enough to catch the eye of discerning collectors, who immediately recognized the coin's potential value. It's important to note that errors like this are what make certain coins extraordinarily valuable in the world of numismatics. While the majority of 1976 dimes were struck correctly, the misaligned coins quickly became rare and highly sought after by collectors. The more unusual and limited the error, the higher the value of the coin. And in the case of the 1976 dime, this error would prove to be the key to unlocking a significant increase in value. As collectors began to seek out the 1976 dimes with the misaligned reverse, demand for these error coins grew. As time passed, fewer and fewer of these error coins remained in circulation, making them even more desirable. And, as often happens with rare and highly sought-after coins, the value of the 1976 misaligned dime began to soar. Today, the 1976 USA One Dime coin, particularly the misaligned variety, is worth far more than its face value of just 10 cents. In fact, depending on the condition of the coin and the severity of the misalignment, a 1976 misaligned dime can sell for prices that are truly staggering. Some of these rare coins have sold for upwards of $138,000 at auction. Yes, that's right, $138,000 for a single dime. This incredible price is a reflection of the rarity of the error and the high demand among collectors for this unique coin. The fact that it was minted during such a historically significant year, coupled with the rare minting error, has made the 1976 one dime coin an object of desire for numismatists around the world. The price may fluctuate depending on the market and the condition of the coin, but there's no denying that this coin has proven itself to be a true treasure in the world of coin collecting. In conclusion, the 1976 USA one dime coin may seem like an ordinary piece of currency, but its historical significance and the rare minting error make it a highly prized collectible. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who's just starting to learn about the world of numismatics, the 1976 misaligned dime is a coin worth paying attention to. And with its current value at $138,000, it's clear that even the smallest coin can hold immense value. So, the next time you come across a 1976 dime in your pocket change, take a moment to inspect it closely. You just might be holding a rare and valuable piece of American history. The year 2007 holds a special place in the history of the United States, marking a time of change, reflection, and forward-looking aspirations. While the world witnessed new technological advancements, shifting global dynamics, and political developments, many Americans were simply going about their everyday lives, buying groceries, paying bills, and using pocket change. Among the coins circulating at the time was the 2007 US one dime coin, a small yet significant piece of currency that would eventually gain attention in the numismatic world. Although it seemed like an ordinary dime to most, little did the average person know that a rare, hidden treasure lay in some of these coins, a treasure that would cause them to skyrocket in value and become a valuable asset to collectors. To understand the remarkable journey of the 2007 one dime coin, we need to first step back and explore the historical context surrounding the coin. By 2007, the United States had endured many challenges and triumphs. The nation was deep into the 21st century, adapting to new technology and navigating the complex political and economic terrain of the modern world. It was a time when social media was beginning to shape public discourse, when iPhones had just been released, and when Americans were becoming more connected in ways they had never imagined before. But amid all the social and technological change, the U.S. Mint continued its timeless task, producing the coins that would fuel the nation's economy. The U.S. Mint had a long tradition of minting coins that represented the country's history, ideals, and achievements. The one-dime coin, in particular, had been around for more than a century, and it had come to symbolize a small yet important piece of the American financial system. The design of the dime in 2007 was familiar to most. The obverse of the coin, as it had been since 1946, featured the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt's image was a fitting choice, as he had led the country through the Great Depression and World War II, leaving behind a legacy of resilience and determination. His image had graced the dime for over 60 years by the time 2007 rolled around, and it was a symbol of the stability and continuity of American leadership. On the reverse side of the 2007 dime, however, was a design that had seen some changes. The reverse of the dime typically featured a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols representing liberty, peace, and strength. But in 2007, a new design featuring a series of changes and modifications had been introduced. While the iconic symbols remained in place, a subtle change in the arrangement of the elements was introduced. This revision, while slight, made the 2007 dime stand out among the other coins in circulation that year. Despite the coin's modest changes, there was little reason for most people to take notice. After all, the design of the dime hadn't shifted dramatically in decades, and there was no immediate sense of excitement surrounding this particular coin. But behind the scenes, a unique story was unfolding, one that would capture the attention of coin collectors and investors alike. As with many coins, minting errors and flaws can drastically increase their value. Errors can make a coin rare, and rarity is the key to demand in the world of numismatics. The 2007 dime was no exception. Although the coin's design appeared straightforward, a rare error began to surface among certain 2007 dimes. This error, unlike any that had been seen before, would turn the 2007 dime from a commonly circulated piece of currency into a highly valuable and highly coveted collector's item. The error in question involved a phenomenon known as the double die reverse variety. In this case, the reverse die of the 2007 dime, which is responsible for stamping the reverse design onto the coin, had been misaligned during the minting process. The misalignment caused a doubling effect in the text and the image on the reverse side of the coin. This subtle, but clear error caused the words on the reverse of the dime, including E pluribus unum and United States of America, to appear doubled. The doubling effect was especially noticeable on the lettering, creating a distinct visual anomaly that caught the eye of keen-eyed collectors. At first glance, the misalignment may have appeared to be a minor imperfection, one that might have gone unnoticed by the average person. But in the world of coin collecting, even the smallest of errors can turn a humble dime into a rare and valuable treasure. And that's exactly what happened with the 2007 double die reverse dime. As word spread within the numismatic community, collectors began to hunt down examples of the coin that displayed the doubling error. While the vast majority of 2007 dimes were struck correctly, a small number of them featured this rare misalignment, and it was these specific coins that would eventually become the stars of the coin collecting world. The appeal of the 2007 double die reverse dime was immediate and widespread. Collectors are always on the lookout for unique and rare pieces, and this error coin fit the bill perfectly. Error coins, especially those with such a noticeable and distinct flaw, have a special place in the hearts of numismatists. The rarity of the 2007 double die reverse dime made it a valuable addition to any collection, and as time went on, these coins became harder and harder to find. This scarcity, combined with the growing demand, caused the value of the coin to rise steadily over the years. So, what makes the 2007 double die reverse dime so special? There are a few key factors that contribute to its high value in the coin market. First and foremost, the rarity of the error is what sets it apart from the millions of other dimes minted in 2007. Errors like this are not common, and when they do occur, they tend to be small and difficult to detect. The fact that a noticeable doubling error was present on a relatively high number of 2007 dimes means that the coin is more widely recognized in the collecting community, and that recognition has driven demand up significantly. Another important factor is the coin's historical context. The 2007 dime was minted during a year of relative stability and change for the United States. While the nation was not undergoing any major upheavals, the time period was still significant. The 2007 dime serves as a reminder of a pivotal moment in American history and the nation's steady march forward into the new millennium. Coins that are minted during such transitional times often hold a unique appeal for collectors who value their historical significance. Of course, the ultimate factor driving the value of the 2007 double die reverse dime is the current state of the numismatic market. As with all collectibles, the value of a coin is driven by supply and demand. And in the case of the 2007 double die reverse dime, the supply is limited, and the demand is high. The combination of rarity, historical importance, and collector interest has caused the value of the coin to rise steadily over the years. So, what is the current value of the 2007 USA One Dime coin, particularly the double die reverse variety? While the vast majority of 2007 dimes are worth their face value of just 10 cents, the rare error coins have sold for prices that might surprise you. Depending on the condition of the coin and the severity of the doubling effect, the 2007 double die reverse dime can fetch anywhere from a few $100s to an astounding $124,000. That's right, $124,000 for a coin that most people would have overlooked as mere pocket change. This impressive value has been achieved thanks to the rarity of the error, the growing demand among collectors, and the historical context that surrounds the coin. Coins like the 2007 double die reverse dime remind us that even the most ordinary pieces of currency can hold extraordinary value when they possess the right combination of rarity and uniqueness. In conclusion, the 2007 USA One Dime coin is far more than just a piece of everyday currency. It represents a moment in American history, and it carries with it the potential for an incredible return on investment. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or someone new to the world of numismatics, discovering a 2007 double die reverse dime could be a life-changing event. With its current value at $124,000, the 2007 USA One Dime coin is a shining example of how small imperfections can lead to big rewards. So, the next time you find yourself holding a 2007 dime, take a close look. You might just be holding a rare and valuable treasure that could change your life. The year 2018 seems like it was just yesterday, doesn't it? A time when smartphones were buzzing with social media posts, streaming services were redefining how we watched television, and the world seemed to be rapidly moving forward into the future. Yet, beneath all the technological advances and the cultural shifts, the U.S. Mint was quietly continuing its age-old mission of producing the coins that would circulate among the people, paying for goods and services, and ultimately becoming a part of American history. Among these coins was the 2018 One Dime, a small but mighty piece of currency that many people likely handled without giving it a second thought. It was just another dime to most, nothing particularly special or exciting. But as time passed, this coin would earn its place in the spotlight for reasons that not everyone could have anticipated. A dime from 2018 would prove to be more than just a functional piece of change. It would become a coveted treasure for coin collectors. But why? Let's dive into the fascinating story of the 2018 USA One Dime, uncover its origins, and find out how this unassuming coin came to hold such significant value. To truly understand the significance of the 2018 One Dime, we need to first look at its historical context. By the time the 2018 coins were being minted, America had already lived through nearly 2 centuries of its own unique history. The nation had seen its highs and lows, from periods of economic prosperity to times of war and hardship. But in 2018, the country was, in many ways, experiencing a period of transformation. The political climate was charged, technological innovation was rampant, and global connectivity was redefining how people lived, worked, and interacted with one another. Yet, as rapidly as the world was changing, the U.S. Mint remained focused on its task of producing the coinage that Americans would use in their everyday lives. And the dime, the 10-cent piece, was a part of that coinage. It had been around since 1796 and had undergone several design changes throughout its long history. In 1946, after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the U.S. Mint chose to honor him by featuring his likeness on the obverse, front, of the dime. Roosevelt's image became synonymous with the coin, and it's remained a fixture on the dime ever since. As we move into the late 20th and early 21st centuries, the design of the dime became more consistent. The 2018 One Dime was no different in this regard. On the obverse, the iconic portrait of Roosevelt, created by artist John Sinek, graced the coin. Roosevelt's strong profile and dignified expression have become an enduring symbol of leadership and determination. The simplicity of the design, with Roosevelt's face surrounded by the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of minting, reflects the timeless nature of the coin. However, the reverse, back, of the 2018 dime still held some intrigue for those who took the time to examine it closely. The reverse design has remained unchanged for decades, and it consists of three symbols: a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These symbols are emblematic of liberty, peace, and strength, values that have been deeply embedded in the foundation of the United States. The olive branch and oak branch are symbols of peace and strength, while the torch represents freedom and the eternal flame of liberty. On its surface, the 2018 One Dime may not have looked all that different from the dimes that had been minted in years prior. After all, it was just a dime, no major redesigns, no radical shifts in the coin's appearance. But, as is often the case with coins, what seems ordinary to the naked eye can sometimes hide a deeper story, especially when it comes to the world of coin collecting and investing. The key to understanding the significance of the 2018 dime lies in the error coins that began to surface in the years following the coin's initial release. Coin errors are common in the minting process, but it's these errors that often become the most valuable coins on the market. Collectors eagerly search for such rare mistakes, knowing that these misprinted coins are often worth much more than their face value. And the 2018 One Dime coin would soon be the subject of an exciting error that would elevate its status in the numismatic world. What made the 2018 dime particularly valuable wasn't just the coin itself, but rather the discovery of a specific minting flaw that would turn a simple piece of currency into a highly prized collectible. The error involved a unique misalignment of the reverse design, causing part of the image to be struck twice on the same coin. This error is known as the double strike error. In most cases, this error occurs when a coin is struck by the die multiple times, creating a doubled image on the coin. The 2018 dime, in particular, was one of the coins where this double strike was so noticeable that it became highly sought after by collectors. At first glance, you might not notice the error unless you were really paying attention. The doubling effect was subtle, but clear enough for numismatists to recognize it immediately. The misalignment caused the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse to appear blurry or slightly doubled, with the overlapping images creating a visual effect that was distinct from the typical, sharp designs on a regular dime. For those familiar with coins and their intricate details, this kind of error was a treasure in the making. But why do errors like this matter so much in the world of coin collecting? It all comes down to rarity. Errors make coins far more valuable than their counterparts because they are often produced in limited quantities. When a coin is struck with a double strike, it's no longer part of the regular, mass-produced coinage that circulates daily. It becomes a rare artifact, a mistake that, in many cases, is no longer being made, and that's exactly what happened with the 2018 double strike One Dime coin. When collectors discovered the error, demand for the coin surged. It became an object of desire for those who understood the significance of minting mistakes and the potential value they held. As word spread among coin enthusiasts, the 2018 double strike dime quickly became one of the most coveted items on the market, and its value began to climb. As with all rare collectibles, the condition of the coin plays a critical role in determining its value. A 2018 double strike dime in pristine condition is worth far more than one that has been heavily circulated or damaged. The highest quality examples of the coin, with the clearest double strike and the most minimal wear and tear, have commanded some truly extraordinary prices at auctions and in private sales. These coins are considered almost perfect specimens, and they are in high demand among serious collectors and investors. So, what is the current value of the 2018 USA One Dime coin with the double strike error? If you happen to find one of these rare coins in your possession, you might be holding a small fortune in your hand. Depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin, the value can range dramatically. However, the highest quality specimens, those with the clearest double strikes and the best overall condition, have been known to sell for as much as $108,000. Yes, you heard that right, a dime worth 10 cents in its regular form could fetch up to $108,000 at auction. This impressive value has made the 2018 One Dime coin a must-have for serious collectors. It is a prime example of how something as small and seemingly insignificant as a dime can be transformed into a rare and valuable collectible when it carries a unique error. In the world of numismatics, such coins are seen as treasures, proof that even the smallest of objects can hold immense worth. In conclusion, the 2018 USA One Dime coin is far more than just a piece of everyday currency. While most people likely overlooked it as they went about their daily routines, the coin has become a symbol of how rarity and error can combine to create something truly valuable. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a curious onlooker, the 2018 Double Strike Dime serves as a reminder that there are hidden gems to be found in the most unlikely places. And with its current value of $108,000, the 2018 USA One Dime coin is a testament to the extraordinary potential that lies within even the smallest of coins. So, the next time you come across a 2018 dime, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history worth more than you could ever imagine.